It's 5 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. Hope you're having a good one. For my 2 workouts today, I started in the gym early, bright and early, doing my hip protocol. So hip circles, getting some knee, ankle, and even lower back work done. Then had a few volleyball clinics, did that. People were doing great today. Awesome job. For the second workout, I got in there and I was just doing a bunch of ab stuff. So the tough thing with the ab stuff is, you can't really tell the benefit until days later or weeks later, even months later. But if you do it consistently, you can get kind of shredded. But that's neither here nor there. So now I'm gonna eat for the first time today at 5, and then I'm gonna get on the piano for a little bit. Alrighty. How's it going for the reading tonight? It was Business Bible and learning about Paul and the path. And so the path is seeking the truth, working hard, and doing good. So Paul, he sets an example through his life and his work. He labors day and night so as not to be a burden to anyone, but to provide for others' needs. Paul is diligent and eager to be generous. He teaches believers to work as he does, not for man, but for Christ. Idleness is not accepted. And the rule for the church is that if anyone is not willing to work, then he is not to eat either. Wow. So he recognizes the purpose and value of work and instructs the church to acknowledge those who work hard. We are created to work, and those who are diligent and skillful will be rewarded. So one of the things I wrestle with is, I know we're supposed to have a day of rest. I work on Sundays because that's when I do my volleyball clinics. So I know that's not biblically sound, and that's something that I struggle to reconcile. But the biggest thing that I'm looking at today is the path. So again, the path is seeking the truth, working hard, and doing good. So I'm just looking at my life and my day and going, okay, am I seeking the truth? Am I working hard? Am I doing good? Well, am I seeking the truth? You betcha. I'm reading books, I'm watching documentaries, I'm constantly filling my mind with stuff from audiobooks as well. I'm always just trying to fill myself with good input so I can have better outputs. In terms of working hard, I make it look good. I know a lot of the stuff that you see here is me hopping in the ocean and putting a smile on my face. But these are the moments that I'm rewarding myself, and I am taking a break from sitting down at a computer, which is a lot of the stuff that it doesn't really make sense to show because there's nothing happening. I'm on a computer, just basically hitting my head against the wall most of the hours of most days. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm with my clients and teaching them how to be bigger, stronger, and faster. But in doing good, that's the third thing. Did I do good today? I did. I put smiles on everyone's faces that I'd encountered. I was generous with my time, generous with my spirit. I think I did a good job of doing good today. So, seeking the truth, that's that's something that's a little bit tough to even bring up now, right? Because the media and the government, they tell us one thing, and even if we see something doesn't add up, it seems like we're not allowed to question anything anymore. People don't want to know the truth. People don't want to acknowledge what's right in front of us most of the time, because the truth is not always nice. It's not always easy, right? So I heard this great parable about when truth walked into town and everybody threw cabbage and threw all these different vegetables at him because he was ugly. They thought he was so ugly. All the townspeople said, "Oh, the truth, you are so ugly, you're so ugly, get out of here." So they cast him out, and he went and hid in the forest. And so he's hiding out in the forest, where when he sees Story come by alongside him, and he's walking into town, and he says, "Hey, Story, can you help me out, please?" And Story says, "Look, truth, they're right, you are ugly, but I'll lend you my cloak. It's a beautiful cloak, this cloak of Story. If you walk in with me and with my cloak, then people will accept you. But as long as you clothe yourself in story, what are we even doing here? It seems like we've got such a short time. Let's go big. I mean, let's really live fully. And full disclosure, for Lent, I gave up being a pussy. So instead of giving up chocolate or anything, I've already given up drinking for 75 hard and candy. So we're going to take it to the next level, just telling you exactly what I think. And again, not making anyone wrong. I could be completely wrong. I'm totally okay with that. But I feel like it's important for us to actually have a conversation and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. And I know the government is telling us to believe one thing, but I don't feel like that's true. Like when they're telling me that the president, the former president, is completely just sharp as a tack, and yet I see something different, I feel like I'm allowed to say that out loud and not be told that, you know, I'm a bad person or anything like that. I mean, we're allowed to use our eyes. We're allowed to use our voice, and we're allowed to have a conversation. I think that's what's severely lacking in our society in America now, is we got one side who's very, very loud, and another side who's afraid to even open their mouths for fear of being called a racist, a bigot, a homophobe, anything. So it's just, you got this crazy divide right now, and there's got to be a way to come back together. So my way of doing that is saying, you know what, let me just create some beauty. Let me put some beauty into the world. So started compiling all these songs that I wrote a long time ago, and I'm gonna be sharing those in probably a month or so. Gotta do pre-production and all of that, but I think it's great. Just say, hey, this is who I am. These are the things that I go through. These aren't just songs that are me trying to sound cool or look cool. It's like these are things that actually happen. So one of them, I'll do a shot after this, is I'm working at Crown Cove as a caregiver, and I get called into my grandpa's room, and he's having a moment of clarity after so many years where dementia, Lewy body dementia, is just completely wreaking havoc on his ability to, I guess, live a normal life. And he doesn't know where he is most of the time and what's going on. But he's having this moment of clarity, and I got pulled in, and it was just a beautiful moment. So I'll share that next. But yeah, I know this is a rambly situation, but I just want to, as Gavin Newsom would say, I want to share my heart, but in actually a really genuine way, and say, I want to be able to say what I feel. I want to be able to say what I think without having to constantly fear that not only will I be judged, but be thought of as a loser, an idiot, blah, blah, blah. And then when facts actually do come out later on, and whether I'm right or not, you're still almost kind of ostracized. I mean, I lost a lot of friends during COVID for saying, look, like, don't put any harmful substance into your body. This doesn't make any sense. You know, you're an idiot, blah, blah, blah. Trust the science, Derek, trust the science. You're killing people, blah, blah, blah. No. That's my rant right now. But it shouldn't feel like a rant. It should feel like, hey, yeah, it's 2026. You're the fire horse. We should be able to talk and say, hey, you know, this is what I'm feeling. What are you feeling? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Cool. Either way, I still love you. I'm doing the best I can. I see you're doing the best you can. Let's keep doing that together. Love that. I love it. A difference of opinion is such a beautiful thing. A difference in perception is a beautiful thing. I mean, no one really knows what is true and what is fact, right? And you can get very esoteric on this and get kind of woo-woo. You know, what's truth, blah, blah, blah. There's no such thing as truth if you want to really get down to it. But everyone's observing life based on the inputs that we put in, you know, how we grew up, what books we've read, what things we've seen in our life. And that's informing our judgment on everything that we perceive. So I don't know, I think it's kind of cool just to be able to say, hey, this is what I think. What do you think? And not have to kind of flinch and go, oh, don't tell me I'm an idiot for thinking this. Even if I am proved right later on. But I want to start throwing out some more honesty in hopes that maybe it gives you the courage to be a little bit more honest as well and say things that you believe, or at least question things and allow yourself to question things openly. So I'll show you a little bit of the piano. So high, but the chorus is, if I scream today and shout, and so I'm like belting it super high. But so I got in there before my grandma did. And I got in there and he like grabbed me and he's like, I don't know how long we have. I know exactly what's going on. I'm so sorry. It was like 6 years since like he like, you know, bit himself. And he grabbed me and he said, like, I know exactly what's going on. Like, I'm so sorry, but honey, it's okay. We can work this out. And then he was gone, like just before anyone even came back in there. But like, it was totally him for a second. So the chorus is, if I scream today and shout and whisper, honey, what's my name? Remember